Friends, now we shall try to know about Akhanda Bharat, how it existed, how and why it was divided over a period of time. See, when we talk of Akhanda Bharat, we become highly emotional. Our spirits, enthusiasm, energy levels all go very high. Unbroken India or the United India, or say the Akhanda Bharat, it extended from the Himalayas to the Indian Ocean and from Iran to Indonesia. Before 1857, India's area, that is Akhanda Bharat's area, was around 83 lakh square kilometers, which is currently 33 lakh square kilometers only. Especially from 1857 to 1947, the India was fragmented many times by the external rulers, by the external powers. Afghanistan was separated from India in 1876, Bhutan in 1906, Tibet in 1907, Sri Lanka in 1935, the Myanmar in 1937 and Pakistan in 1947. Similarly, the Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, Malaysia, Indonesia were all the integral parts of our undivided Akhanda Bharat at some time or the other. Indians, the true Indians, we believe in peaceful coexistence, cooperation, brotherlyhood and the principles of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. One way it is our strength and from the other perspective it is our weakness also. Or otherwise we would not have broken ourselves into these many fragments. And when we praise the glory of India, glory of Bharat Mata as true patriots, with all devotion to her, the picture that immediately emerges before our eyes is the picture of undivided Akhanda Bharat. We are yet to understand the real values of Sanskrit, Vedas and religion. Also the values of our heritage. See, Afghanistan, it was also called the Upghanistan and the Kandar's name was Gandhara. Afghanistan was a Shaivite country. The Gandhara described in the Mahabharata is in the Afghanistan, which is the homeland of the Kauravas' mother Gandhari and their maternal uncle Shukuni. In 1876, the Gandhar Treaty was signed between Russia and Britain, converting Afghanistan as a separate country. And coming to Bhutan, Bhutan was separated from India by the British in 1906 and recognized it as a separate country. Bhutan is derived from the Sanskrit word Bhubhutam, which means the holy land or the high ground. And Tibet, the ancient name of Tibet was Trivishtam, which was divided into two parts. One part was given to China and the other was given to Lama after an agreement between the Chinese and the British in 1907. In 1954, our Prime Minister also accepted the Tibet as a part of China to show his solidarity to the Chinese people. And the British separated Sri Lanka from India in 1935. The old name of Sri Lanka was the Simhaldeep. The name Simhaldeep, it was later renamed as Ceylon. Sri Lanka's name was Tamraparni during the reign of Emperor Ashoka. Mahendra, the son of Emperor Ashoka, and the daughter Sanghamitra went to Sri Lanka to propagate the Buddhism. Sri Lanka was very much a part of the United India, and the Myanmar, the ancient name of Myanmar was Brahmadesh. In 1937, the recognition of a separate country to Myanmar, that is Burma, was given by the British. In ancient times, the Hindu king Anandavrata, he ruled here. And Thailand, it was known as the Siam until 1939. The major cities were Ayodhya, Srivijay, etc. The construction of Buddhist temples in Siam began in the 3rd century, and even today many Shiva temples are there in this country. The capital of Thailand, Bangkok, It also has hundreds of Hindu temples. And Cambodia, it is derived from the Sanskrit name Cambodge. It was part of unbroken India. And the Kaundinya dynasty of Indian origin ruled here from the 1st century itself. People here used to worship Shiva, Vishnu and Buddha. The national language was Sanskrit, and even today in Cambodia the names of Indian months such as Chaitra, Vaishakha, Jyeshta, Ashada, they are also used there. The world famous Angkor Wat temple is dedicated to Lord Vishnu, which was built by the Hindu king Suryadeva Varman. The walls of the temple have paintings related to the Ramayana and the Mahabharata. The ancient name of the Angkor Wat, it is Yashodarapur. The ancient name of Vietnam, it is Champadesh, and its principal cities were Indrapur, Amaravati and Vijay. Many Shiva, Lakshmi and Parvati and Saraswati temples are still found here. Shivaling was also worshipped here. The people were called the Cham, who were originally the Shaivites. And the ancient name of Malaysia, it was Malay Desh, which in Sanskrit means the land of mountains. Malaysia is also described in Ramayana and Raghavamsham. And the Shaivism was practiced in the Malay. Goddess Durga and Lord Ganesha were worshipped here, and the main script here, it was Brahmi, and the Sanskrit was the main language. The ancient name of Indonesia again, it is Akhanda Bharat, which is also mentioned in the Puranas. Akhanda Bharat means the ocean across India. It was the kingdom of Hindu kings. The largest Shiva temple was in the island of Java. The temples were mainly carved with Lord Rama and Lord Krishna. And the Bhuvana Kosh, it is the oldest book here containing 525 verses of Sanskrit. Some of the important Sanskrit names, or say the mottos of the leading institutions of Indonesia are the Indian Police Academy, it is called as the Dharma Bijaksana Kshatriya. Similarly, the Indonesian's national armed forces called Tridharma Ek Karma. And the airlines there, it is called Garuda Airlines. The Ministry of Home Affairs, it is called the Charak Bhavan. The Ministry of Finance, it is Nagar Dhan Raksha. Supreme Court is called the Dharma Yukti. So now let us come to the separation of India, or the division of India into India and Pakistan. Let us see the partition of India into India and Pakistan in little detail. The revolt of 1857, non-cooperation movement, civil disobedience movement, the Jallianwala Bagh massacre, the Lucknow Pact, Home Rule movement, Quit India movement of 1942. So all these form a major part of our Indian independence movement, leading to the emergence of independent India. Thousands of Indian freedom fighters, they participated in the strikes, dharnas, protests against the British rule, and they sacrificed their lives. About 2 lakh men of the Indian Army, the British Indian Army, they participated in the World War II that began in 1939. Supporting the British on the assurance that they would grant us freedom. So by the end of the war, it had become the largest volunteer army in the history, with around 2.5 million men by August 1945. In this war, about 87,000 Indian servicemen lost their lives, about 34,000 were wounded, and about 67,000 became the prisoners of war. However, their courage, their valor, it was recognized with the award of some 4,000 decorations, and 18 members of the Indian Army, they were honored with the Victoria Cross or the George Cross. But these selfish British, they went back on the promise of granting us the freedom. The continued Indian independence movements finally led to the emergence of independent India. as per Indian Independence Act passed by the British Parliament on 18th July 1947. The British divided the country most diplomatically along religious lines, leading to the creation of independent countries of India and Pakistan with effect from August 15th, 1947. The most unplanned and rapid partition, it led to a population transfer of unprecedented magnitude, accompanied by devastating communal violence. Britain's parliament ordered that the partition be over in 1 month, that is by midnight of August 14th, 1947, and that the assets of the world's largest Indian empire be divided within a single month. So because of this deadline, the Boundary Commission appointed by Mountbatten and chaired by Ratcliffe, who had never visited India before, worked desperately to partition Punjab and Bengal, resulting in maximum dislocation. And with the deadline looming up, he made the final decisions of the borders, which satisfied no one and it infuriated everyone. Dividing Punjab and Bengal, the provinces with a slim Muslim majority, it caused tremendous problems. The new borders ran through the middle of villages, towns, fields, and more. And when Pakistan was created, the East and West Pakistan were separated by about 1000 miles, means 1600 kilometers. And the Mughal emperors, they had persecuted the Sikh gurus in the 17th century, and the Sikhs were deeply hurt by that. Although the commission had placed Amritsar, the Sikhs' most sacred city, under Indian domain, many other important Sikh shrines and the landed estates, they were said to become the part of Pakistan, which increased the rift between the communities. Almost the entire Sikh community slowly and ultimately fled to areas forming part of India. And the transfer of power, it was completed on August 14th in Pakistan and August 15th in India. These functions were held a day apart so that Lord Mountbatten could attend both the ceremonies. The borders of the new countries, they were not published until August 17th, although we got independence on 15th. So this led to immediate escalation of communal violence in areas around the new borders. Many ordinary people did not understand what partition meant until they were in the middle of it. As soon as the new borders were announced, roughly around 1.5 crore Hindus, Muslims and Sikhs, they fled from one side of the border to other, seeking shelter. Some people were able to take trains or buses from one country to another, but most of them were forced to go on foot, joining the refugee shelters which stretched for miles. So these shelters and the trains that carried the refugees across the new borders, they were the targets of violence. In the course of that tragic torture of innocents, as many as 2 to 20 lakh people were slaughtered in communal massacres, although proper documentation is not there. So Hindus and Sikhs, they settled in the Punjab's new division. They suffered the highest proportion of casualties compared to their numbers. The violence was at the peak during the first 6 weeks of partition, but it had effect for decades. Hasty creation of Pakistan led ultimately to a devastating war in 1971 between its eastern and western provinces, resulting in the independence of East Pakistan as Bangladesh. The territorial disputes between India and Pakistan, particularly on the question of the Kashmir region, they have also led to multiple wars. And despite these historical setbacks, the vision of Akhanda Bharat, it continues to resonate with many who seek to reclaim the unity and glory of ancient India. Thank you very much, friends. Jai Hind.